Whitetail Workshop.
No, what's the town called?
Flemington.
To the Whitetail Workshop.
To pick up
my mom's deer mount.
Miss Ginny's deer mount.
And we're going to do a little interview with the owner, Pat Robbins. And he's going to tell us a little bit about what he does. But we're headed there now, and we just wanted to fill you in on what we're doing.
Sounds right. Oh, here we are. Knock on the door, Ben. Y'all just don't go in somebody's house.
What in the world?
What y'all doing?
What are y'all doing?
Come to check out the workshop.
Come over here and I'll put you to work.
No, we don't want to work. Good grief.
Yes, sir.
This is Pat Robbins.
How you doing?
How are you, buddy?
Buddy.
Longtime friend of mine forever and a day.
And Grace. Give you a hug. And man.
Who's over here hiding?
That's Riley.
Hey, Riley.
He's the shop supervisor.
Shop supervisor. Good deal.
So Emma, does anything on that wall look familiar to you?
It was supposed to.
Well, yeah.
Is that mine?
Yeah.
It's pretty right there.
Oh my goodness. Doesn't even look this here.
That's her mama's.
Is that
Wow.
that's the one you killed in that swamp?
Yeah, I guess so.
You like the
It sure looks better than when we found it.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome to another episode of Swamp Revival. As you can see, we're here at the Whitetail Workshop in Flemington, Florida. I'm here with a good friend of mine, Pat Robbins, that I've known. We've known each other ever since we've been little bitty kids and went to school together, played sports together, hunted together for a long time. So we're going to ask him some questions about what got him to this point in life, you know, doing taxidermy and stuff, and we'll hear about his story and how God's played a role in it. So y'all stay tuned. We're fixing to get after it. I know you've done various things in life. You work for the Department of Corrections.
Sorry. Yes. So
Then you had a lawn business.
kind of like you, Billy. I'm good.
Yeah, you're good.
23 years with the Department of Corrections, and knew that it was time for me to go. The Lord was telling me it was time for me to go. I'd done my thing, but I was stubborn. Wasn't going to give it up. Had a good job, good benefits, good pay, but the Lord was telling me it was time for me to do something different in my life. But I refused, and he got my attention with my gallbladder, and I was in the hospital for 18 days with my gallbladder.
Yeah,
And
that's a way of doing that.
And that woke me up. So yeah. After I did that, I started the lawn business, which also gave me the opportunity to coach Brooks' softball team at Countryside. Coached the girls' softball team for 5 years there. And did the lawn service full time up till about 2 years ago. And I've always wanted to do this. I always was intrigued by doing this, and finally learned how to do it. Actually, a mutual friend of ours taught me, Garrett Burnett.
Yeah, I know Garrett. Yep.
Was gracious enough to let me learn a few tricks and trades, and here I am full time doing this, messing with dead animals all day long.
What's wrong with his eyeball?
I ain't finished yet. See, now you can't be coming here judging me when I ain't done.
Judge you. And there's somebody shot it out or something.
No, I just
That's
ain't.
where I'd shoot him right now.
I ain't finished. I had it finished, but then I'm just real bad when I'm doing this that I'll hit it and mess it up, so I don't really get too done with it till I'm close to being done. But right now, we just sewing him up like he was never there.
Can't see it, can you?
Uh,
I can't see it.
no. Biggest thing is getting that hair out of the threads. Getting this pulled back a little bit. So I have to put a glove
I know
on.
what you need to show us while we're here.
All right.
That new toy you got.
I didn't know if we were allowed.
We mean allowed.
Oh, we gonna show it.
Oh yeah.
You know what he's talking about?
I got some questions I want to ask. So, what's your process when you first get a deer in?
Okay. So as a deer comes in first, obviously to be the head and his cape.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to take,
Unless I clean one.
unless Billy cleans it, then you can just throw the cape away because it ain't going to be no good. So I have to take the cape off the head,
okay,
which basically means I got to clean up, get around his eyes, all of his nostril, all that has to come off. And then once I get all that off, I clean up all the meat and extra fat and stuff that's on the hide, and then it goes to I tan my own hides. So it's a tannin solution, salt, and a tannin solution, and it stays in there for 3 to 5 days. And then after it comes out of there, I pull it out and I put it on and we can go in there and I'll show you. It's a machine. It's a fleshing machine. And what it does is it thins the hide, lets me thin the hide so that whenever it's mounted, it kind of gives you the detail and and it lets you get sometimes it's kind of deceiving because it lets you get the deer a little bigger than it was when you killed it, but it's also lets you get the detail. And then once I'm ready to mount it, I'll have to show you the form. So after I shave it, I'll measure his neck, the hide of his neck. So basically, when it's shaved, he's laid flat, and I'll measure from the cut to his throat, and then I double it. So like if he's 8 inches, a 16-inch neck, whatever, and then I'll order my form to match that. Most deer, you can get bigger here, but most of them are the same. They're like 7 inches. You get some of the like Midwest deer, some of them are 7.5, 7.75, but most of these are around 7 inches. And so that's the way it comes. That's a form. And then I'll have to get all these grooves and all this stuff smoothed out, sanded down. Yep. And then got to set his eyes, glass eyes, go in there. I have to Dremel out his jawline. And then really from there, you just take the skull plate, which is what I got up there, and you just set it in there. And I take Bondo, make me a mixture of Bondo, and then set the horns in there. And that kind of fills in that gap where his brain would be. Cool. But that's that. And then these are the eyes. That's how they come. With glass eyes.
cool.
Yep, it's got a little pupil in it. So if you ever lose an eye, I can put you a new one in.
Put me a new one in. There you go.
All right, what's another question? Said you had questions.
Where do most of your deer come from?
Most of them come pretty local. With the way the FWC does the chronic waste thing now, if it comes from another state, it has to come, the hide already has to be off and the horns have to be off too. You can't come across the state line with any carcass. So most of mine come from Florida. If it's somebody that I know, they know how to do it. they can do it for me, or get a taxidermist up there, another state, to do that for you, and then bring it to me, and then I can do them. Which is what we did with Jenny's. It came with just the skull, and the hide was separate. So most of them are local. I mean, within like Marion County, most of mine, Marion and some Levy.
You could stitch up a good cut, couldn't you?
Yes, sir.
I cut myself.
Yes, sir.
Stitch it up good.
I could.
Yeah. I'm gonna call you from now on.
Come on, call me.
How many dogs you had to stitch up?
A couple. I got a buddy of mine that does a lot of hog hunting, and I've stitched up a couple of his dogs for him.
Now nothing holds this down right here.
Yes. So before you got here, that form was sitting here, and it's glue.
That's glue.
It's basically I use this. There's several different things, but really it's all it is what you put wallpaper up with, wallpaper adhesive. There's other people use different things. There's taxidermy companies that make something, but that right there to me has been the best. And so I cut it on there real good, and then I put the hide over it. The ears are fake. Those are ear liners. So I have to open the ears up from their cartilage. Then I have to pull the cartilage out.
Right.
And then you put the ear liners in, glue them.
And however they want it to be, whether back or up.
The last thing that I do after everything's done is I'll sit there in my chair and work with the ears.
So you can move them from.
Oh yeah, they're just holding up there right now just to help me. Because if I didn't, they'd be hanging down, and it fights me when I'm sewing it.
Okay.
So I just kind of stick them in there to keep the ears from drooping. But yeah, that's
So when you put them up, what keeps them up?
So there'll be some potter's clay.
Yeah.
I'll go in here. There's already some in here, some potter's clay.
Right.
But I'll put a little more to build the muscle around the ear, and it just, as it dries, it holds.
Okay.
And there's glue in there too.
Cool.
Now we'll flip him over.
That's the way I like it. That's the way I usually see them.
Laying on their side where you shot them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know whose deer you're seeing.
Mine. Everyone I've ever shot.
So
Everyone I ever shot, he was living up like that on the ground, sideways.
they're all a little different. It's pretty cool about deer. They're just like us. They all have their hair designs, and they got cowlicks and all that kind of stuff in them, but they all got the brisket line. Some of them have like some of the Texas deer, they'll be a little thicker. This one ain't too much, but so it's really just me getting all the air out, making sure the legs line up. But you know, that's the way he was when you killed him.
Yeah,
You know,
I think that's pretty cool.
that's part of the story. All righty, get my staple gun.
You know, I was thinking about I come by on 27 the other day when coming to Bronson. Remember when you killed that deer when you were off of 27? And there was a little dim road that went back on the Blue Springs right there.
Yeah.
Was that your first
That's
deer?
my first buck.
I remember that like it was yesterday.
I do too.
I can't remember what it was, though.
Huh?
I can't remember what it was.
No, 3 point.
3 point.
When you're 14 years old, man, it's a monster. Yeah, that was my first buck.
I think a lot about them times. We had some good times back then.
Man, Blue Springs
We hunted.
that was my childhood, man. That's how I learned how to drive. And
You had that old red Ford
1950 Ford. Yep. Why ain't we working? Maybe my battery's dead.
You're pointing that thing at me now.
It's safe.
See, that's what they all say.
Famous last words.
Famous last words.
It's on safe.
It's on safe.
There she goes.
It'd be like when I shot the kitchen window out.
Yeah. I don't think we've told that story yet.
No, I ain't gonna tell that story.
Oh.
How long does it take you to do one start to finish?
This part or the whole deer?
The whole deer.
Well, it's kind of hard to say that because of the process of,
Well, yeah,
if I was to say hands on the whole time, probably 12 hours.
Yeah.
But you know, you got 3 or 4 days in the tan, then you got to shave it. And then, like when I get this one mounted, that's what these bags are for. I get these mounted, I put them in a garbage bag because you see how you can feel it. It's wet, it's soaking wet. And I want it to dry like really slow. If it dries too fast, it just pulls it away. So I want it to dry really slow. So like every day I'll come out here, take the bag. Oh, you can see the moisture in that one just from the humidity. But I want it to dry really slow. Come out here every day, brush it. I mean, really a lot of it's grooming. Is just brushing them and keeping them, because they're just like your hair. I mean, when it's wet, however you comb it and brush it and it dries, that's the way it's going to be. Yep.
How long you been doing this?
I guess like 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Well, we hadn't done a podcast in a while, and I was thinking about, you know, Phil passing away and how much of an impact he made in this world.
Yeah.
And I got to think about the people in our lives, my life, probably some that's been in your life that's made an impact like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you could
Who's
have
some of yours, you think?
Well, obviously, first of all, would be my dad.
Yeah.
Which, you know I do. I lost him way too early. He was 42 years old when he passed away. So that kind of stinks. But, you know, the things that way I carry myself today is things that, you know, he taught me and how he taught me. Probably another one would be Granddaddy Keith, obviously. I mean, I think his list is probably as long as Phil Robertson's, you know, Granddaddy. Probably another person would be, or other two people would be Uncle Robbie, Uncle Stevie. Yeah. Just the way
he calls them uncle because that's how close we are. They're actually my uncles, but we're family.
Yeah.
So, I mean, practically family.
Yeah. But yeah, I call Granddaddy Keith Granddaddy, and then I call them Uncle. But they, you know, they were around during my growing up years, man, and I watched them. I imitated them, you know.
Yeah, I try. I want to try to be like them.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, just my opinion, the world, man, just looks down on men like that, you know.
Yeah.
Not cool to be a manly man anymore.
Yeah.
In their opinion, not mine.
How has your faith? I already know the answer. Other people don't know the answer.
Sure.
How is your faith? Because we were raised the same. We believe the same. I know we do. Or you probably wouldn't come to my church if we didn't. But how has your faith helped you in life? For somebody that may be struggling with theirs or maybe seeking
So
Jesus,
for me, you know, and I was blessed. We were both blessed that we were born into a godly mother and godly father. And, you know, they made us go to church. There was never a doubt.
Yeah.
But, you know, as you grow up and you become an adult, you got to make your decisions for yourself.
Oh, yeah, there's some times where...
And I know I strayed away from what I grew up. But God was always faithful. Even when I was doing stupid stuff,
right,
He was always faithful. And what I would tell people is, you know, even when you feel like God's not there and He's left you alone, He's there.
Yeah.
He says He'll never leave us or forsake us.
That's right. More than likely, we've left Him alone.
More than likely, we pushed Him out.
Yeah.
But everybody blames God leaving you, but it's not God leaving you; it's you leaving God, and He's still there waiting, waiting for you to come back to Him.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be cool if I guess everybody would treat each other the way God treats us.
Right.
Even in when we're our nastiest, our dirtiest, I call that our dirtiest.
Yeah.
You know, God's still there,
Right.
and He just wants you to come to Him. But I'll be honest with you. There's been times. I mean, better get this right. It's going to be on video. I think it's 35 or 30, 34 or 35 years. Me and Tim got married in 88, 89. I graduated in 88. We got married in 89.
You better get all that right.
June 24th. Matter of fact, my anniversary is coming up. June 24th, 89. And there's times in our life early on that, you know, we didn't have money to pay bills.
Yeah.
We didn't have money to food. But you can look at me and tell I never went without a meal.
Yeah.
I
wasn't gonna say nothing, but
well, fat people can call other people fat. But you know, you just can't. You know, the words I can't really put in is just you can't outdo God.
No.
You just can't. I mean, and even when you don't deserve, you deserve nothing. You deserve. We all do.
Yeah.
We deserve
Every
hell.
one of us.
But he's just so good. So faith would be just trusting God that, I mean, when I left the prison, and so when Tina come out here to the hospital one morning.
He was working at the prison.
Yeah, I was working. I wasn't in it. And then, you know, it's amazing, and I'll say this, 20 that many years, it's amazing that I still have a family. Yeah. Because that life is just different. You know, you walk through them gates and them gates close behind you and you're in there with, I mean, I was in prison in their garden, the worst of the worst, you know, and I lived every day long. You gotta be different. You gotta be a different person. And sometimes I would bring that home.
Yeah.
And so, you know, when Brooke and Tina both told me, you know, you're treating us like inmates, that's when I knew it was time for me to go. But I told Tina, she come up there and I said, I'm quitting the prison, I'm retiring. She's like, how are we going to pay for things? And I was like, it's God's will, it's God's bill. And
I like that one.
It's God's will, it's God's bill. And I promise y'all, when I left DOC, and within 2 months, probably, I was making more money mowing grass, twice as much money mowing grass as I was working for the prison. Twice as much. So
He takes care of you.
He does.
When you step out in that faith. Well,
it is tough.
It's the same way with me. I mean, I left the state as well. And it's when you've had that for 20-something years, that security and that, you know, you're going to get a paycheck, you know, you've got health insurance, you know, all that's happening. And then all of a sudden you just
walk away from it.
I get it.
And you got people you work with who obviously are not believers, and they're like, are you crazy? You know? Yeah, I am maybe, but you know what? I'll be happy doing what God wants me to do. So I ain't like I'm sitting down on the job, but I got to sit down on the job.
And it's like, you know, I think of Stephen and them, Jimbo and Stephen and Uncle Jimmy and them.
Oh, the fishing?
The fishing. I mean, God will give you the desire of your heart and let you do things. I mean, you want to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, and for me to
let you have a business.
Have a business, and, you know, it gives me time to help 2 granddaughters, you know, doing things I need to do with them.
Your shop help here?
Shop supervisor.
Shop supervisor.
You know, just help doing things around here for Tina's mom stuff, you know.
Yeah.
It's been a blessing.
Ben went through the same thing.
Okay.
He had a job where he had to work out of state for almost a year. And it was really taking a toll on our relationship and our relationship with God. And
it's taking a toll on me because I missed him having him around.
But there came a point in time where he just had to step away from it, and we didn't really know how that was going to work because it had good benefits and good pay. But when you trust in God, He takes care of you, and we've been making it so far.
You're doing what God wants you to do. It's all going to work out.
That's right.
Just got to have
I
faith.
believe that.
You do. I really do.
100%.
I really
That's the
do.
whole reason why I went back to school.
Yeah, you quit your profession and went
Good
back to
job.
school.
What I went to school for.
That's right. You went to dental school, didn't you, or something?
I'm like, what in the world?
Now you're at a.
Now I'm teaching a bunch of youngins.
Hmm.
But it's fun.
But
it's worth it.
You wanted to do that. I mean,
Yeah, and I saw the
You
benefits
believe in that.
from it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think that's what
and now what
kids
you're
that,
doing,
you know, not say kids, young adults. I mean, you kind of was trained to catch that dollar, chase that dollar.
Yeah.
This generation, and once you realize
no, dollars are okay now. I mean, they're needed.
Or whatnot.
they're okay until they start affecting
That's right.
your family and your faith, and
Yeah.
you know, I can honestly say in those 23 years in DOC, all those 23 years, out of all that, probably if you added it all up, I had to work on Sundays maybe 6 months. The rest of the time I always had Sundays off.
Yeah.
And there were some times dealing with them guys, it wasn't pretty.
No, I
But
don't imagine so.
God got me through it. And now it's part of my life, part of my testimony, part of
Yeah.
who I am.
That's what a lot of people don't understand is that, like you said, that's you living that life for so long, that is your testimony. It continues to go. You know, your testimony is continually being built, I guess.
Yeah. I remember something you told me whenever I did. You told me.
I told you.
You told me.
Uh-oh.
Some of your wisdom.
I didn't know.
I
didn't know I had wisdom.
You do got wisdom.
Look at all that.
Oh, that's dealing with people. That's all
Whenever
that
Walter's funeral,
is. Yeah.
and they had me preacher or whatever, and I told you I ain't no preacher, and you told me you are a preacher. You're a Christian and you got a testimony.
That's right.
You're a preacher. Just because you don't have that ordained title, you're still
Right.
a
We
preacher.
all have a story, and
Yeah.
if you're a believer, you have the answer within inside you.
Yeah.
Get you to brush my hair in the mornings.
Yes, sir.
Look at that. Mix that up.
Yeah, I can brush my hair. But yeah, every day I have to come out here and brush him and work on his eyes, work on his ears every day until he dries
You
up.
start talking to him a little bit.
Yeah, I talk to him a little bit, tell him
It's gonna be okay.
it's going to be okay. You're going to get to hang on a wall for the rest of your days. Being admired. That's a nice buck for around here, though.
Yeah. Where was this one killed?
Maybe 7 or 8 miles from here.
Really?
Close, yeah. Yep. So like the ears, I'll piddle with these ears 3 or 4 times before I'm satisfied. Sometimes I'll do them the same, like back, or one's turned a little bit back, like he's listening, because deer's ears are independent. They ain't, so it's really just me sitting out here every day as he's drying, just kind of getting that feel of him.
Figuring out.
Yeah. Well, it looks good, and kind of, you want to offset the horns too. There you go. Now he just dries.
Sweet. All right, here we are. Welcome to another episode of Swamp Revival. Of course, it's me and Emma Grace King, and we're here at Crap Taxidermy for all your crappy taxidermy needs if you need them. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. If you want it to look like crap, come here.
You want a bullfrog?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
Is it okay to shoot it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Whoa.
I could shot that bird up there in a hole. Ah, I gotta have one.
All right, guys, thank you for joining another episode of the Swamp Revival Podcast. If you want to find more information about the Whitetail Workshop, you can call them or text them at
352-810-5373.
or find them on Facebook. Thank you for watching.